When and where did you write your latest book, Irrationally Yours?
When and where did I write it? So this book is based on my column in the Wall Street Journal, which means I wrote it in all kinds of funny places over the last few years. You know, writing a column is very interesting. It's very short, 640 words, but there's deadlines and editors. So as somebody who studies procrastination, I know I should have no deadlines, but I'm still not reacting well to deadlines. So I write it in all kinds of funny places. But the nice thing about this book was that in the summer of 2014, I started editing this. I took all the answers I wrote, I picked the ones that I liked the most, and I started expanding them and thinking a bit better and re-editing them and so on. And I did it on one of those wide Turkish boats, sailing between Turkey and Greece for a week in that summer. And it was probably one of the most wonderful ways to start a journey of taking a column into and making it into a book. It was just a beautiful, memorable, and fantastic week.
In what medium platform do you write your books? Handwriting on paper, typewriter, laptop, PC? And what time of the day do you prefer to write?
So I as you know, I have kind of severe disabilities in my hand, so it's very hard for me to actually write. Even typing is difficult for me. It's the easiest. Holding a pen or pencil is very hard for me, but typing is also difficult. So I can maybe write a page or two a day. If I write more, I get pain that night. So I try to restrict myself from not writing too much in one sitting. In terms of hours of the day, one of my only skill is that I'm almost always productive. I don't have hours when I'm on and off, or at least not predictable ones. Sometimes I'm tired, but so I love writing, and I'm happy to write any hours of the day and anywhere. So I basically take my laptop and I go to all kinds of places, including the office, and whenever I have time, I write. Sometimes the later stages of editing, it's a bit more daunting and a little less fun. So those things I need to kind of, clear big chunks of time. But just writing, I enjoy, and I'm doing it as much as I can.
Is there any part or parts of the book that you would like to rewrite or change?
So books really never end, right? There's always a way to improve and to think about it and so on. This last book, Irrationally Yours, I think because the answers are relatively short, I don't think there's a part that I would like to change as much. But if I think about my other books, those books are longer and more on topic, and on those things I certainly have things I would like to add. My book on dishonesty, we've done much more research since the book ended, so there's more room for adding things there. And my first book, Predictably Irrational, I wrote some things about market norms and social norms. And I wish I had more. If I had a chance, I would write much more about that. I think I did not at the time. I did not understand what an important topic this was, it is. And if I did, I would have added much more about it. So those are kind of the things I would add.
Are there any real stories, events, or characters in this book?
So Irrationally Yours is. A lot of people ask me if the questions are real. Yes, the questions are real. I sometimes change the name of the person who wrote the question if they ask me to keep their identity. And I sometimes edit a little bit the questions for brevity. But these are all real. And it's kind of an amazing thing to see what kind of stories people are willing to share with me and what kind of questions. And Of course, I don't publish all the answers, all the questions, and all the answers people ask me about. Many of them are too personal or too specific. But it is amazing for me to realize what kind of questions people are asking. I'll give you one very difficult example. This was not a question that somebody asked me in writing. This was somebody who called me up. And this was a young guy in his mid-20s who became paralyzed from the neck down. And he wanted to talk to me about what I think about committing suicide. And as you can imagine, this is a very, very difficult question, and we talked for a while about this question. And I have, of course, not many questions that are as difficult as this one, but people really share with me a tremendous range of questions, and I spend actually a lot of time answering some in the column, some personally, all kinds of questions about all kinds of areas of life.
What were the 3 prominent or outstanding feelings that you had while you were writing this book?
So one feeling, I think, is this idea of joy of social science. And this is kind of the idea that you can look at an event in the world and try to think about how would you dissect it from the perspective of social science. So people are talking about, leaving trash in a common room, and you say, okay, this is a question about trash, but let me take a step back and let me try and think about what this question is really about, from what are the forces that are at work here. A little bit like a physicist, taking whatever situation is and trying to dissect it to forces. We also try to take a situation and dissect it into the forces that are going through it. So this is maybe kind of like a detective trying to understand what's going on. The second one was my wondering about my own sense of humor. So, I'm getting amused by myself. I think I'm funny. I think my father thinks I'm funny. I'm not sure anybody else does. But it's interesting, when I was kind of trying to be funny, I enjoyed it. I make myself smile. But I also I kept on wondering how specific is my sense of humor, and would other people appreciate it as well. And then the third feeling, I think, has to do with actually sadness. You look at the world, and you look at all the terrible things that are happening, and I think you can't avoid the realization that most of the terrible things happening in the world we are doing to ourselves. These are not things that are happening because of natural disasters. These are things that we are creating to ourselves. And I would often get questions about wars and disabilities. And yesterday I got a question about a rape. And I don't answer all of those questions publicly, but it's very hard to get questions from people and not to realize what it is that we're doing for ourselves, and not to be deeply saddened by it.
What is the question that you would want to be asked or were asked about this book? I'm asking the question only, not your answer yet. What is the question?
I think I'll give you 2 answers for this. The first one is, what do I think is the best advice I ever got? And the second would be, listening to advice and giving advice is easy. What are the kind of tools that would get somebody to take an advice and actually translate it into action?
Okay, well, the last question is, what is your answer to that question? And in your case, to those questions.
So the best piece of advice I ever got was to think about life as a continuous learning process. and to always ask myself, what do I want to learn next? And I think kind of being on a continuous process of learning and improvement is a recipe for an interesting life. But it's also a recipe for making lots of progress. It's also a recipe for not taking anything too seriously, because you're always trying to learn more things. And I've applied this to myself by tackling new things that I haven't done before. So this column in the Wall Street Journal was something that I thought about doing, and I tried it, and it came out well. Last year I did a documentary. I try all kinds of new things. The second thing about how you take pieces of advice, or how you take an idea of how you want to act and turn it into action, I think this is basically, we need lots of help in that, right? We have lots of good intentions, and I think we need help in taking those intentions and translating them into something real. And I think this is actually where technology could become incredibly helpful. So if you think about taking better care of our health, or spending money in a better way, and all of those things, I think all of them, we could use some technology help to get us to behave in a better way. And I see more and more of those technologies being built, so I'm hopeful that it's in the right direction.
Well, it was great. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.